Just 2 years after the release of Deadly Alliance, Midway released Mortal Kombat Deception. Mortal Kombat Deception is widely regarded as the best 3D Mortal Kombat game. It borrowed a lot of assets and movesets from Deadly Alliance, but it also added some features. Notably, it added the Konquest mode, a full-blown story where you play as Shujinko, who's on a quest from the Elder Gods to collect all of the realm's Kami Dogu. It has an open world where you're free to explore areas of the Mortal Kombat universe. Really, it was super ambitious for its time, especially for a studio that primarily works on fighting games. It released on October 4th, 2004 to good reviews. This is technically the first Mortal Kombat game to release in my lifetime. Later in 2006, it got a release on the PSP under the name Mortal Kombat Unchained, which is a surprisingly faithful port, and later on, Mortal Kombat 11 would release on the Switch and Mortal Kombat 1 as well, which are also surprisingly faithful ports. In addition to a fleshed out Konquest mode, this game also has chess combat and puzzle combat, two alternate game modes for the player to enjoy. The stages got new fatalities as well as hazards that would essentially break one stage into multiple stages. It also added online multiplayer for those with broadband adapters. At the time, Deception would be the most ambitious and content-rich Mortal Kombat at that point. But is the game still as good as people want to believe it is? That's what I'm going to find out in this video. So sit back, lay back, relax, get some popcorn or chips or your meal that you're currently eating and you clicked on this video to watch while you're eating. Whatever you may be doing, enjoy the video. I'll be structuring this video as follows. I'll first talk about a certain section in the Konquest mode, which I broke up into different stages of the game after receiving a Kami Dogu. After I'm done with that section, whatever characters I met that gave me training, I will go to arcade mode and play through and talk about. I'll also take a couple pauses to talk about chess combat and puzzle combat. Then, after I'm done with the Konquest and playing through all the characters, I'll talk about some aspects of the game such as the stages and actual gameplay feel. If there's any parts you'd rather skip or would like to hear a specific part, I've put chapters in the video so you can scroll around at your leisure. Let's start off with the story video that shows when you first boot up the game.
It was not by chance that this struggle came to be. The blame falls squarely upon my shoulders for giving evil the chance it needed, and therefore fulfilling an ancient prophecy. Raiden's Earthrealm champions had failed to stop the Deadly Alliance from fully resurrecting the mummified army of the Dragon King. In the end, only Raiden himself stood between Earthrealm and total destruction. Defying the Elder God's wishes, he alone challenged Quan Chi and Shang Tsung in mortal combat, Earthrealm's last hope for freedom. Raiden fought well against the two sorcerers, and it seemed as though victory was at hand. But the combined might of Quan Chi and Shang Tsung proved to be overwhelming, even for a Thunder God. Raiden was defeated. The Deadly Alliance had won. Their victory was short-lived. As suspicion and lust for power overcame both Quan Chi and Shang Tsung, the former allies turned on each other. The Deadly Alliance was no more. Quan Chi defeated Shang Tsung and reveled in his conquest. But it is said that there is only one true ruler of Outworld. and that ruler had returned. Onaga, former Emperor of Outworld, the Dragon King. The prophecy had been fulfilled. The Dragon King had indeed returned to Outworld to reclaim his army and impose his dominance. Death awaited all who stood in his way. And so it was that a new alliance was formed out of desperation. Sworn enemies joined forces to combat a greater threat. Raiden began to realize that even their combined might was not enough to defeat the Dragon King. There was only one chance left. Raiden's sacrifice was in vain, for the blast had little effect on the Dragon King. Now Onaga has what he needs to shape the realms as he sees fit. I was the fool who brought him this power. Only I can destroy this threat, born of deception.
Earthrealm. As an introduction to the mode, I feel like it does a pretty good job. Immediately, it's very clear that they actually put their blood, sweat, tears, and cum into this mode. You can actually move around, looking like you just smoked up the fresh Heisenberg pack. The voice acting is kinda goofy, sounds a little like they just got children that had never done voice acting before, but it's okay. The first thing you do is meet with Master Rai Cho, who's teaching combat to the children in this little village. After a segment similar to Konquest and Deadly Alliance, you then have to follow this little shit to the next school, rinse and repeat a couple of times, and then you get a fetch quest. Hey, it's nothing that's going to change my life, but it's better than the nothing that was in Deadly Alliance. I then discovered violence. You can just beat the hell out of everyone you see, which is so awesome. I mean, look at the way these motherfuckers fly when I punch them. I also broke into many people's houses and took their shekels. You can talk to a whole bunch of the townsfolk, and they'll just give you little quests to do. Most of them just normal fetch quests. It's not much, but it does do a bit of world building and makes the village feel like it's lived in. After completing the last training with Rai Cho, someone who claims to be an elder god grants me the power of absorbing other people's moves to use in combat. You beat Rai Cho, then leave the village. You're sent into quite a large expanse of land that has a lot of just empty filler areas, but also some little villages and the monk temple and such. You go to Rai Cho at his house and he trains you by teaching you his moves. It's basically the same thing as playing as Rai Cho in Konquest back in Deadly Alliance, but the good part is that it doesn't have a long drawn out sequence telling you shit you don't care about and then having you mindlessly press buttons forever. It's a lot more streamlined and easily completable. After finishing Rai Cho, I had to get the medallion that he lost, but instead of returning it to him, the man claiming to be an elder god convinced me to not give it back, and instead show it to the Lin Kuei to gain the respect and go to the Kamidogu. You do Sub-Zero's Conquest mode little thingy, and you get the Kamidogu and leave Earthrealm. Rai Cho. In an effort to save Li Mei, he broke into Shang Tsung's palace. Raiden met him on the other side and told him about Onaga being back. As far as I could tell, when I was playing as him in arcade mode, he hasn't really changed at all since Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I don't really care because that makes it easier for me to play through this game, and it also makes it feel like all the grinding beforehand will help me here, but that also means that I won't have much extra to say about each character like I did in the last game. I really do like Rai Cho a lot though. He's a goofball.
Onaga seemed invincible. The races of Outworld were in disagreement over how to deal with this threat, and Baraka's hordes were sweeping the land. Rai Cho had almost given up hope when he was visited by the spirit of his greatest student, Liu Kang. Their roles now reversed. Liu Kang gave Rai Cho the inspiration necessary to continue the fight. Rai Cho's soul was invigorated. He met with Outworld's many leaders to forge a temporary truce. Kitana gave him command of what remained of her army, and he led them to battle against Baraka's mutant foot soldiers. The new army of Outworld crushed the Tarkata vermin, and Baraka himself was bested by Rai Cho's attack. The victory inspired the people of Outworld to rise up against the Dragon King.
Sub-Zero. Frost betrayed Sub-Zero and killed herself in the process. Sub-Zero happened upon some ancient ruins. He found out they belonged to the people who mastered cold. He laid Frost to rest and put on the armor of his newly discovered ancestors. Design kinda lame in my opinion. He doesn't look like Sub-Zero at all in this game. His moves are pretty standard, but holy hot fucking shit. The Noob-Smoke fight was absolutely insane. I died on it because they just kept fucking gangbanging me the entire time, like holy shit, I just cannot fucking move and they keep pounding me.
On his way to the rendezvous point with Raiden and the others, Sub-Zero was ambushed by a band of Tarkatan warriors in the living forest. He tried to outrun them, but there were too many. He was quickly surrounded. Sub-Zero decided that his last living deed would be to vanquish as many of these barbarians as he could before he succumbed to death. As Sub-Zero began his attack, he felt his armor speak to him. It guided and strengthened each blow as he broke their limbs and crushed their skulls. At his feet, a dying Tarkatan warrior uttered the words, "Long live the Dragon King."
Netherrealm. Immediately entering Netherrealm, I noticed the atmosphere is really good from the beginning. It feels foreboding. This place is empty. There's just people walking around that are essentially just corpses. The ambient music paints a canvas of pain and suffering. You talk to Ashrah, learn her moves, and then go outside of the little city area. At this point, the ambiance kind of wore off, and I was just kind of bored. The entire Netherrealm is just flat land with some lava between and weird zombies walking around. It feels dull and lifeless, which, yeah, of course, I mean, it should. It's supposed to be hell, but they could have filled it out a little more with some weird plants or maybe some little hills or just something. Anyways, Ashrah is trying to purify her soul and leave the Netherrealm, so she tries to kill Ermac. You find Ermac, you learn Ermac's skills, and he's here to kill Ashrah, so they fight. Something I do like at this point is that it does have the player do actual fights outside of the normal ending fight of Konquest. At this point, you get the Kamidogu for the Netherrealm, and you go to the Nexus in which someone named Monster tries to stop you, and I have a sneaking suspicion that it's Scorpion, considering he shares the same exact moveset as Scorpion. Ashrah. Ashrah lived as a demon in the Netherrealm for many, many years. Quan Chi betrays her and sends her sisters to kill her. She discovered a heavenly sword. The sword allowed her to kill demons and make her more pure, allowing her to eventually leave the Netherrealm. Ashrah is a fine addition to the game. Her moves aren't insanely unique, also having projectiles that work similarly to the majority of characters in this game. I did like her weapon a lot though, the Kreese or Chris or however you pronounce it. Her design I think is pretty good, she does stand out a bit from a lot of other human characters. I know it's still early in the game and I have a lot more gameplay to experience and a lot of time to get better, but goddamn, that Noob-Smoke fight just seems really fucking challenging. I don't know how I'm gonna pass that later on.
Noob-Saibot was not originally a demon, which might explain why Ashrah sensed such great evil in him. He had to earn his place in the Netherrealm. He actually desired to remain there. His companion, however, seemed to be having a problem adjusting. Perhaps there was some good left in the cyborg. Whatever the case, Noob would have to face Ashrah alone. Ashrah defeated Noob-Saibot and finally earned her ascension from the Netherrealm. But the sword that made her escape possible did not travel with her. I suspect it still remains in the Netherrealm, waiting to release another of its denizens from damnation.
Ermac. Ermac, I guess, isn't just one person, it's a collection of souls, but I'm gonna talk about Ermac like it is one person. Kenshi freed him from Shao Kahn's power, Liu Kang convinced him to defeat Onaga. Ermac feels right at home in this game. Thankfully, he actually gets some justice in this game, and he gets to be a fully fleshed out, fully playable character with unique moves. Telekinesis moves similar to Kenshi in Deadly Alliance, but still. His design is great in my opinion, but maybe I'm biased because I love the color red. His design is simple but memorable. His green eyes are just so beautiful. His axe is very fun to use. Noob-Smoke gangbanged me again.
In an outer chamber of the Dragon King's throne room, Ermac did battle with Liu Kang's enslaved comrades. Ermac was more than a match for the 5 warriors, but their defeat was not his objective. Liu Kang materialized and one by one freed their souls while Ermac occupied the rest. Eventually, all 5 were awakened from their enchantment and freed from Onaga's control. Ermac was pleased that his warrior's skills could for once bring about a noble outcome. He sensed, however, that an ominous force still shaped the destiny of the realms. It was everywhere. He could feel its influence on Onaga, though the Dragon King was oblivious to its manipulation. Time was running out. Ermac feared the celebration of this latest victory would be short-lived.
Chaosrealm. Entering the Chaosrealm and looking at the map, it looks really interesting. A lot more appealing than the fucking empty Netherrealm. Talking to a couple of people, I noticed that there's lore that you can gain from simply just talking to people around. I had a fight with Hotaru to get in, then I go to a cemetery and defeat Smoke. I then meet up with Havik, who needs me to defeat some people for him. I beat all of the Satan guards, and they all happen to be Hotaru. Something kinda cool is that it has me play as each of the 4 characters I've learned so far. Rai Cho, Sub-Zero, Ashrah, and Ermac. The thing is though, this part was insanely easy. I mean, you would have to be a fucking lobotomite to lose a single round. Havik lied about showing you the Order of Chaos, but now you get to learn his shit. Actually, turns out he was teaching you. He was just trolling when he said he was gonna kill you. He sends you to a weird labyrinth, then the game gives the weirdest cutscene ever, and apparently years have passed from a time-altering liquid, and you got the Kamidogu. As Shujinko walked through the shallow pool, he felt a strange, dizzying sensation, as if the world was passing him by. Chaosrealm was kinda cool, but honestly still pretty barren. Better than the Netherrealm, but I don't know, it still feels kinda empty. It also is pretty annoying to navigate with the portals. The only character I got taught is Havik, so let's play as him now. I guess this is a good time to mention that I'm going to look up how to unlock every character, so to unlock Havik, I have to find a chest in Chaosrealm. Havik. He travels the realms looking to spread chaos and disorder. He undid the order that Hotaru put upon an Outworld city. He led the Earthrealmers to Onaga. He wants the fight to never end to maintain chaos. Havik's actual design is meh, but his special moves are really cool. Havik's whole gimmick is that he can contort and twist his body. His taunts are him snapping his neck and folding himself. Part of why I love Draman so much is because he's just so fucking nasty. Havik is similarly fucking nasty. You can hear the sounds of his bones make as they crack. It's like a fucking glow stick. Really, I love this character. His Morningstar mace feels really good and hard-hitting. Really, Maverick is just an awesome character, and I really like him a lot. Way more fun than I expected. Noob-Smoke, of course, gave me a reach around.
The others had defeated the Dragon King, but left his broken body unattended on the floor of his throne room. Not long ago, a similar fate had befallen his former advisor, Shao Kahn. Havik ripped the still warm heart from the carcass and consumed it, thus absorbing Onaga's power to reanimate the dead. Had the Dragon King succeeded in his plans for total domination, the never-ending turmoil of life would have come to a stifling halt. Those who defeated him believed that the realms were at rest once more, but Havik vowed to restore the chaos that once ravaged Outworld. Shao Kahn would rule again.
Before we talk about the next realm, I want to take a second just to talk about puzzle combat. It's a pretty simple little minigame, kinda reminds me of Dr. Mario. Each character has a special move which breaks blocks or freezes the enemy blocks or whatever. Basically, 2 blocks fall at a time. There's 4 colors on the blocks that there can be, as well as corresponding coins for each block. The coins break the blocks of that color when it touches the block. If the blocks stack to the top of your area, the game ends. When you break blocks, the number of blocks as well as a combo multiplier, if you get a chain of coins going off, will be sent over to your opponent. That's it. It's a cool little side mode, nothing amazing, but it's cool that it's here at least, and it's a pretty good way to get some Onyx and Platinum coins, so... Anyway, that's all. Back to Konquest. Outworld. Immediately I notice the entire Outworld is drenched in purple. That's fine, I'll take some color. I make my way over to the village area where I meet Mileena and train as her. She explains that as long as the Emperor surrenders and kills himself, Mileena won't kill his people. He doesn't like that idea, so he has you get something valuable instead to hire guards to help fight. You meet Jade in the Living Forest, an awesome callback to Mortal Kombat 2. You beat Jade, then you get the fucking Kamidogu. No shit, that's the whole realm. Yeah, I'm sure you can go back to the city and do whatever you need to do, but that's side shit. I'm here for the main story. On to Mileena. Mileena. She's part princess and part Tarkatan. Katana's sister. Katana sent her to prison before Baraka freed Mileena. Baraka tells her that Onaga has her sister's body, so Mileena chooses to fight for Onaga. Man, how the fuck do those things not fall out? She must put a lot of fucking trust into that outfit. Mileena has always been a cool character to me, as she is part of the same race as Baraka, who is my favorite character in the series. Her Sai is pretty cool to use. None of her moves are spectacular or anything, but I did enjoy playing as her. This time I died to Dairou. I kinda suck as Mileena, to be honest.
Because it was widely believed that Princess Kitana had slain her many years ago, none were suspicious of the veil Mileena wore to conceal her Tarkatan features. It was not difficult for her to assume the identity of the princess and take control of her alliance. To further conceal her deception, Mileena gave command of the armies to Rai Cho and instructed him to lead the attack against Baraka's diversionary forces. Baraka's militia had failed to divert the enemy, and to her surprise, was decimated by Rai Cho's forces. She then realized that she was in control of the most powerful military force in Outworld and Edenia combined. She had finally achieved her true purpose, her destiny. But Mileena could not continue her charade indefinitely, not as long as Baraka knew the truth. She ambushed him in the ancient beetle lair and fed him to a swarm of flesh-eating insects. All hail Princess Kitana.
Orderrealm. Damashi tells Shujinko to have the Seiden take over the Overlord's city without the Overlord's permission, and Shujinko obliges. I met up with Hotaru in Outworld to train. He sends me down to the road to defeat Darrius. After defeating him, you return to Hotaru and meet him in Outworld to defend the city. Hotaru took over the city because the Overlord did not remember the arrangement. You're met outside by Tarkatans and talk to Baraka, who tells you that he's going to be punished. You fight him. After defeating him, you train with him. You go back to the Nexus and you're told that you can fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament in Earthrealm. You meet Kenshi in Earthrealm. He tells you to look in the southwest, then you meet Nightwolf, that tells you you're evil. You train with him to get rid of the evil. You spend many years with him in a cutscene, 11 years to be exact. It's 2027 now, like goddamn. You meet Shang Tsung and fight him. You let Kenshi know you found Shang Tsung. Then Kenshi trains you. Damashi is pissed that Nightwolf cleansed you, so he tells you to go to the Netherrealm to make his soul more evil. You meet Raiden when you're trying to leave. Raiden questions that you're a champion of the Elder Gods, saying that you would have to have the power of 10 warriors as well as be able to fight with your eyes closed. Well, it's Raiden's lucky fucking day because that's exactly what I can do. Man, Raiden fucking kicked my ass though. It took me many tries, but I did eventually get him. Then it's time to head to the Netherrealm. Goddamn, I know this section is getting pretty long, but when I decided I would structure the video this way, I was under the impression that you could only go through each realm once for the Kamidogu, and that was all. I'm still going to continue under the Orderrealm name until I get to the last realm. You barter with Scorpion and convince him to train you in return for helping him find Quan Chi. You find Quan Chi for Scorpion. Then you fight him as Scorpion. Also, I just now noticed how much worse the characters look outside of the main game, in the Conquest mode. Goddamn, I hated this fucking stupid ass goddamn fucking bullshit fight. I did do it though, then Quan Chi ran away like a little bitch. It cuts to Draman and Moloch chilling, but Moloch is strangely the same size as Draman. You leave the Netherrealm and meet Raiden in the Nexus. Now you go to fucking Outworld to help out Raiden because the Deadly Alliance has been formed. Fuck's sake, man. I just kind of want to continue with the other realms and getting the Kamidogu. All this back and forth and training kind of sucks because I just want to go straight to the arcade after each character, but my brain only lets me do that once I've completed the Kamidogu section. Anyways, I go to Outworld meeting Kano. He tries to force you to build a house. You meet Li Mei and she wants you to train her, but she really trains you. Then Shujinko suggests you get Hotaru to help, and you arrive and apparently wait against an ordinance that you didn't know about, so now you're going to trial in Orderrealm. For many years you sit awaiting trial. Now it's fucking 2047. Bro was held in jail for 20 years over a simple mistake. Shujinko is old as fuck now, like goddamn. Dairou comes out of nowhere and kills the guards. You meet with Hotaru and he's saying that you would have been proven innocent, but now that you have to fight Hotaru to not be in trouble. Hotaru hasn't aged a goddamn day, which is pretty silly considering Shujinko aged like crazy. I think I killed him, and now, finally, I get the fucking Kamidogu for Orderrealm. Now, Shujinko is becoming suspicious of Damashi since he doesn't think that his quest really does anything for the Elder Gods. I go to the Nexus and place the Kamidogu. Goddamn, what a long segment. Hotaru. He supports Onaga because he believes that Onaga brings order to Outworld. He goes to try to hunt down Sub-Zero for going against Onaga and killing Tarkatans. I did okay, but of course Noob-Smoke just fucked me so deep that I can't even fucking walk anymore. I mean, come on man, fuck. Anyways, Hotaru has a fine design. Nothing that's going to blow your dick off, but he's cool enough, I guess. His flame that pops up the enemies is pretty fun, and he has some fun combos. All I really have to say.
In the wilds of Outworld, Hotaru captured the renegade Earthrealm warrior Sub-Zero and brought him before the Dragon King. Onaga's judgment of Sub-Zero was swift, and Hotaru was given the task of carrying out his punishment, death. His fate served as a reminder to all who would challenge the authority of the Dragon King.
Baraka. He's a member of the Tarkata race, and he's basically always been subservient to the villains. He ravages Outworld with his army to distract the Earthrealmers. Oh boy, my goddamn homeboy Baraka. I'm absolutely in love with Baraka. What that fucking mouth do? He's just as fun in this game as he was back in Mortal Kombat 2. I fucking love this guy so much. His design is fucking awesome. His attacks are fucking awesome. And I literally ended up beating the goddamn game as him yet again, of course. It's just how it is when I play Baraka. No way that I actually just... My fucking boy. I'm moving my mic. Sorry if the audio's dog shit. Wow. Wow. My fucking boy, Baraka. What can I say? I mean, that's just perfect. I only use 2 continues. Champion. Wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, what can I fucking say, man? Baraka is just... God damn, I want him so bad. Fuck.
Baraka assumed that the treacherous Mileena had given her armies a powerful magic. They fought with savage brutality, but he could not stop their advance. He vowed that Mileena would pay for her betrayal. Baraka's warriors brought word that she had agreed to meet with him in an ancient lair, but Baraka was no fool. He sent another in his place. Baraka's scouts reported that the Earthrealm warrior Sub-Zero was near. He allowed his remaining militia to deal with him and set off alone to ambush Mileena. He knew by the scent of Tarkatan blood on her clothes that she had already killed the one he had sent to meet her. But her sense of smell was not as keen as a true Tarkata's. She was unaware of Baraka's presence. He barked her name, and when she turned to face him, he tore her apart.
Damn, I can't believe I just beat the fucking game as Baraka. I mean, it's poetic, really. I mean, I have always just had something for Baraka. Sexually. Nightwolf. He's the shaman of his tribe. He's been corrupted by visions of a dark presence. He can enter the Netherrealm, but gets stuck there while trying to defeat Onaga. Yeah, I really like Nightwolf a lot. He's just a pretty cool character and a pretty fun one. I use tomahawks pretty much the whole time, and I just have a sweet spot for pop-up attacks. Chaining attacks together with his tomahawks, then using his arrow and his force push thing, it's a lot of fun, and his design is pretty solid as well. I got all the way to Onaga, but he killed me.
Nightwolf had traversed realms and fought many demons to get to this place, deep within the Netherrealm. Using knowledge passed to him from his forefathers, he drew a binding symbol on the ground and chanted the ancient words that would draw the spirit of the Dragon King to this wicked place. Nightwolf had carried the burden long enough. He released the sins of his people into the mystic symbol, and their weight bound Onaga to the Netherrealm. Free of the corruption he had harbored for so long, Nightwolf was expelled from the depths of the Netherrealm and into the unknown.
Kenshi. Well, this is kind of fucked up. I hope once I'm done with Konquest I can play it over again, because I need a chest that's at the beginning of the game that I can only get at the beginning of the game to get Kenshi. That's so fucking awesome. So I guess I'll have to wait for Kenshi until later in the video. Scorpion. Trying to ambush Quan Chi. 2 Oni catch him off guard and send him to a portal that takes him to the Elder Gods. They gave him the purpose of defending the realms against Onaga. Scorpion is cool. I mean, his design is pretty much the same shit from Deadly Alliance from what I remember, so not much to speak on with that. He's pretty decent in this game, fun as usual. I really enjoyed using his sword. His spear is cool, his teleport kick. I mean, really, what can I say about Scorpion that hasn't already been said? Who killed me this time in arcade? Noob-Smoke.
The Elder Gods had transformed Scorpion into their weapon in order to defeat the Dragon King before his plans of domination unmade the realms. With his enhanced abilities, he tirelessly tracked Onaga through the realms until finally he cornered him in the Nexus. The Dragon King had many allies, but they were of no consequence. It was in fact Scorpion who was the true champion of the Elder Gods, the enforcer of their will. Only he could stop the menace that threatened all that exists. Only he could defeat the Dragon King.
Li Mei. She was betrayed by Shang Tsung and Quan Chi in the Deadly Alliance, and Rai Cho saved her from being a servant of evil. Rai Cho trains her, and she feels like she must serve Outworld, but she feels drawn to a strange power. Yeah, still don't like Li Mei. Her design just doesn't make sense. When you meet her in Konquest, it's during the time of the previous game. In this game, she looks like a completely different character, and her moves are still underwhelming and shitty, but I actually like her even less than last time. I don't know, she just sucks. I really don't like her at all. I didn't even get to Noob-Smoke.
An alliance had been formed of warriors from vastly different origins, but with a similar goal. to defeat Onaga. Li Mei marched uneasily into battle against the Dragon King. The closer she got to him, the more she came to understand which side was truly deserving of victory. Li Mei turned on her former allies and gave her emperor the time he needed to finish merging the Kamidogu. The Dragon King was now all-powerful. He had the means to control the universe, to make and unmake as he saw fit. Li Mei watched in delight as the Elder Gods fled before his might. Onaga then transformed her into his queen, to be forever at his side. He had given her power beyond anything she ever imagined. Together, they will rule the One Realm and slay the last of the Elder Gods.
Edenia. I enter Edenia. Damashi tells me that someone else might be after the Kamidogu, so I must be careful. You meet Katana and she asks for help because Shao Kahn has invaded. I need to defeat Tanya to release Sindel. I actually had to use Shujinko's moves, and wow, I got my shit fucked for a while there. I haven't used him since the very beginning of the game, so I couldn't remember his moves for shit. He has no special moves except his grab, which isn't special at all. Anyways, I got past her. You break Sindel out. She trains you. After that, she gives you the Edenian Kamidogu. Damashi is now able to have a physical body. As you are about to place the Kamidogu, Scorpion comes to fight you. I had to do it as Shujinko, but I managed to do it first try. He places the final Kamidogu. He's confused because nothing happens, then Onaga pulls up. Damashi was Onaga the whole time. As Onaga approaches Shujinko, he runs into Earthrealm. Shujinko realizes he totally fucked up. The credits roll. Apparently, if I really want to beat the game, then I have to beat Onaga in arcade mode as Shujinko, but we'll have to see if I do that. I don't really want to spend a crazy amount of time trying to do that. It's worth noting, Shujinko gets more moves if you find them in Konquest, but I'm not going to go for them. As I'm in Konquest trying to unlock characters, if I see any around, I'll pick them up, but I won't go out of my way for it. Anyways, that's the game. I guess for the rest of the characters, I'll just go in order of how they appear on the roster. I randomly just stumbled upon Kenshi's chest. When I was trying to unlock Kira, I ran into a bug where I was stuck fucking meditating. No matter what button I pressed, I was stuck in meditation. Then, when I tried to get Sindel, I stood there and waited until 1 AM. Then I decided to see if meditating wanted to work, and it didn't, and the option to save and quit disappeared, so I had to go fucking back and wait again for the chest. Sindel. Edenia had been invaded by Outworld, and she had been held captive. Her and Jade escaped to learn more about Onaga, who seems to be following in Shao Kahn's footsteps. Sindel's design is very similar to back in Mortal Kombat 3, and that's fine, because I actually think her design is pretty good. She stands out with her hair especially. Her special moves are okay, but really, they are unique enough to stand out. I didn't really like her weapon very much, but other than that, she's a pretty cool character. I died to Noob-Smoke again because of fucking course I did.
Although Onaga had returned from the dead, he did not re-inhabit his original body. Sindel and Jade found his sarcophagus opened. His body remained, but the armor was missing. Strangely, the hieroglyphics in his tomb were similar to an ancient Edenian language. She discovered an incantation inscribed by Onaga's holy men that was intended to transport his soul back into its original body. As she was memorizing the spell, Onaga emerged from the shadows. Onaga could have defeated both Jade and Sindel, but instead, he took sadistic pleasure in unleashing Katana against them. He was a fool. Jade held off Katana, while Sindel thrust her Kwandao into the heart of the corpse. As she screamed the ancient incantation, Onaga's soul leapt from Reptile's body into its intended vessel. The corpse came to life and cried in agony as the Kwandao prevented its heart from reforming. Sindel held the blade firmly in place as Onaga returned to the cold sleep of death. With the Dragon King defeated, the realms were safe, and Sindel's daughter Katana was free from his spell. May Edenia know peace once more.
Jade. She goes to help Katana and her allies, but she was too late. Onaga resurrects them and she follows. Knowing Sindel wouldn't hurt Katana, she defeats Katana and saves Sindel. Jade's design is pretty much just whatever to me. Not horrible, but very, very standard and kinda forgettable. This is the first character I did in arcade mode that I didn't get any kind of training for. I still did fine, but of course Noob-Smoke got me. She's not terrible, I prefer her over Li Mei, but still not the biggest fan ever.
The traitor Tanya had given the Dragon King the information he needed to finish merging the Kamidogu. But before he conquered all the realms, Jade would see Tanya dead. Jade had allowed Baraka's soldiers to capture her, feigning defeat in battle. As Tanya approached her prisoner, Jade waited for the right moment, and threw a glass orb filled with concentrated Tarkata essence at her. The glass broke, splashing its contents across Tanya's body. Baraka and his vile savages worked themselves into an uncontrolled frenzy. They perceived Tanya to be a rival male, and instinctively attacked. I doubt she survived the encounter.
Kenshi. He almost dies after fighting Movado, but Sub-Zero saves him. Sub-Zero says that he defeated Hotaru, but Kenshi does not believe him. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kenshi in this game. I love that he's blind. It's just a cool character trait, the way he will face away from the camera or towards the camera, but not towards his opponent. His design is cool, and most importantly, he is really fun to play. His telekinetic moves are cool, and his katana is really fun to use. Can you guess who I died to? Noob-Smoke.
As Sub-Zero and Kenshi trekked across Outworld, they strove to keep themselves hidden, only traveling at night. But as they neared the portal to Earthrealm, the Dragon King Zealot Hotaru attacked with a blast of glowing energy that temporarily blinded Sub-Zero. Kenshi's sense of sight is of a spiritual nature, thus he was unaffected by the intense flash of Hotaru's projectile attack. In the dark, Kenshi had the advantage. Hotaru did not see his approach. Unaware, he strode in to kill Sub-Zero. It was the last mistake he would ever make.
Raiden. Raiden basically removes his god status to try to kill Onaga, Quan Chi, and Shang Tsung all at once. He's pissed that normal mortal men are fucking stupid like Shujinko, so he's no longer a nice guy. He's still a good guy, he's not a villain, but he's not friendly anymore. Raiden's design is pretty much typical. Yep, he's a thunder god, holy shit, I might just fucking shit my pants. But he's evil or some shit, so there's that difference. He plays as he did last time, and he's a fine character. Pretty mid in my opinion, but that's honestly just me. Noob-Smoke got me again.
My patience for mortals has worn thin. If I am to protect Earthrealm, I must punish those who would threaten it. The fool Shujinko had let himself be deceived into believing that he worked for a greater good. He was in fact an unknowing tool of a greater evil, one that had almost caused the destruction of Earthrealm. That Shujinko undid his mistake and destroyed the Dragon King is of no importance. Those who place Earthrealm in harm's way will pay with their lives.
Kabal. He leaves the Black Dragon, and Movado from the Red Dragon nearly kills him and steals his hook swords. Havik saves him. He forms a new Black Dragon and gets skilled warriors to help kill Movado. I still love Kabal's design. I think he's badass. I think his hook swords are cool. The thing is, he plays so similarly to Movado from Deadly Alliance. It's hard to really enjoy a character when they don't feel very unique. Like I said, his design is good, but just not his moves. He's fine, but just like a lot of other characters, he borrows from a different character, making him feel less unique. It sucks because that was part of my issue with Movado, that he copied Kabal. I don't know. I don't even make it to Noob-Smoke. I died to Shujinko.
Havik had given Kabal's new Black Dragon recruits a task. Lure the heroes away from the Dragon King's corpse while he somehow retrieved the heart. And with it, Onaga's power to raise the dead. Apparently, Onaga's ancient army had only been invincible by means of constant resurrection during battles. The power to raise the dead would prove quite useful to the Black Dragon clan. Kabal slew Havik and took the Dragon King's heart for himself. Havik was most impressed.
I was 700 Onyx coins short of getting Noob-Smoke, so I went to chess combat to fix that problem, then figured out that I can't even get it from chess combat, so I went to puzzle combat again. But anyway, here's chess combat. I chose Baraka as my leader, Nightwolf as my champion, Havik as my sorcerer, Ermac as my shifter, and Scorpion as my grunt. I don't know what any of the shit means, so let's see how it goes. It's honestly pretty cool. It's close to how chess works, but with some added shit like spells. It reminds me of FPS chess. Basically, when you're trying to take a piece, you fight to decide who actually takes that square. It's a cool concept, and I can imagine it being really fun playing with another human. Just a fun little bonus game mode. I kind of wish that they would bring it back, or if they did bring it back for Mortal Kombat 1, that would have been cool, but, you know, only time will tell. Maybe they'll add it in the future or something. Noob-Smoke. With all the previous people Noob served being dead, he tries to create his own powerful rule. He finds Smoke decommissioned in a labyrinth of torture cells and brings him back. Noob-Smoke is a whole lot of fun. Design-wise, both characters aren't anything too special, but playing as them is great. They don't have weapons, it's just two fighting styles, which is each character. Switching between them to link combos together is just so fucking satisfying and fun. I really like them both a lot. I wish they would double tag team my bunger. I lost to Noob-Smoke.
With Smoke as his template, Noob-Saibot planned to return to the Netherrealm and use Smoke's nanotechnology to create an army of cyborg demons. He was unaware that they were followed by someone Noob had not seen since before he became a wraith. Smoke instantly recognized their visitor. He was an echo of their past. He was Sub-Zero, Noob-Saibot's brother. Noob-Saibot was surprised to see how much stronger his brother had become. If he were still Lin Kuei, still human, he would probably have shown some degree of pride. But as Raiden had revealed during the ordeal with Shinnok's amulet, his soul had been tainted when he died at the hand of Scorpion. Noob-Saibot, the original Sub-Zero, had descended into the Netherrealm free from compassion. He ordered Smoke to assist him in slaying his brother, his first act as ruler of the Netherrealm.
Tanya. She was serving Quan Chi and Shang Tsung during the Deadly Alliance, but they died, so she ended up serving Onaga. I actually like Tanya in this game. She does stand out pretty good, and she has some unique attributes. Her weapon is pretty cool, her fighting styles are fun. I dive to Noob-Smoke. Really just an overall pretty solid character.
In Edenia, Tanya had located the ancient texts that described the process by which to fuse the Kamidogu into one. With this information, Onaga was able to create the One Kamidogu, a tool of unspeakable power. As the Dragon King was distracted, reveling in his victory, Tanya seized the opportunity to snatch the Kamidogu from him, thereby obtaining godlike power. She destroyed the Dragon King and became ultimate overlord of the realms.
Shujinko. Shujinko is a goddamn fucking idiot. Yeah, he's the main character in the story, and he's all important to the lore and shit, but Shujinko can go fuck himself. First of all, he caused the goddamn predicament of giving Onaga all that power. He's a fucking moron. Gullible ass motherfucker. His moveset? Fucking dog shit. If I want all of his moves, I have to go back into Konquest and find them. Go fuck yourself.
So that I would be able to defend myself during the quest to find the Kamidogu, Onaga had given me the power to absorb the fighting ability of any warrior I encountered. But his gift would prove to be his undoing. The warriors in Outworld were in disarray. Heroes were not focused on the true threat of Onaga, and villains were unaware that they were bringing about their own destruction by serving him. I united them, and in one moment, absorbed their combined fighting power. I shattered each of the Kamidogu, the source of his invulnerability. This weakened Onaga, and I attacked him without mercy. His mortal form was no match for a combatant infused with the powers of so many warriors. The Dragon King was finally defeated. The realms will remain as they have since the beginning.
Dairou. He was part of the Satan Guard for a long time, but he gets kicked out when he kills someone in a fit of rage. He was sent to prison when he escapes. He's no longer embracing chaos or order, he's rather just neutral and a mercenary for hire. He's fine. I don't know, I mean shit, not too much to say. He borrows fighting styles from other characters from the last game, kinda just whatever.
Normally, Dairou took no risks and ambushed those he had been hired to kill. But in this case, he felt compelled to announce his intentions to kill his fellow guardsman Hotaru. There still must have been some code of honor left in his cynical heart. Hotaru was defeated, but before Dairou could reveal who had commissioned the attack, Hotaru drew his dying breath.
Kobra. He trained in school for many years in martial arts. He's from New York. He grew a bloodlust for killing. He was put in the back of a cop car, then Kabal and some girl come try to save him, and that some girl ends up being Kira. Alright, bro thinks he's in Street Fighter. His moves are okay. He's just so mediocre and average from a design standpoint, and also from a gameplay standpoint. He just doesn't do anything for me.
Kabal brought his new recruits to Outworld, where a siege was underway against the Dragon King. Kobra grew impatient. He wanted to join the fray, but Kabal held him back. They were not to attack until the heroes had won. Once the Dragon King had been defeated, Kabal gave the order to strike the victors. The new Black Dragon tore through their ranks and left no survivors. Kobra came to realize that he was going to like being a Black Dragon.
Darrius. He's the leader of the resistance against the Satan Guard. He can free Satan Guards and recruit them to build an army slowly and remove the Satan from power. Darrius is actually pretty cool and fun to play. His design is decent, but really his moves are fun as hell. His weapon is also pretty fucking fun and awesome. I actually made it all the way to Onaga, which made me quite happy and pleased, but Onaga did end up kicking my ass anyway.
The mercenary Dairou had succeeded in stealing the Declaration of Order and was paid many coins for his efforts. After Darrius hid the document, he announced its capture to the world and heralded a new beginning for the realm of Sado. As Darrius had predicted, officials were outraged that the Resistance had stolen the most prized possession of the Sadan government. Hotaru was ordered to lead the charge against them. He underestimated their numbers, however, and the Resistance defeated him and his men. The Senate would soon be in the hands of the revolutionaries.
Kira. She sold weapons to terrorists in Afghanistan, but when they found out she was a woman, she had to flee. Kabal offered her to join him. He tells her that the new Black Dragon will take over the world and plunge it into anarchy. Kira is pretty decent, uses what I think was Sonya's styles back in Deadly Alliance. I mean, she's not offensive at least, just another average character. Her weapon is pretty fun though, kinda makes me think of Kratos from God of War. Died before Noob-Smoke.
Once they had defeated the enemies of Havik, Kabal complimented Kobra and Kira on their ferocity in battle. Their true test, however, was to face each other, to decide which of them was worthy of the new Black Dragon clan. Neither refused the challenge. Kobra fought with ferocity, but his lack of discipline allowed Kira to control the battle, easily manipulating Kobra into exposing himself to her attacks. She defeated him and proved her worth to Kabal, who gave her the honor of finding 2 more recruits to pit against each other in mortal combat.
Liu Kang. Raiden's blast killed Shang Tsung, which essentially brought Liu Kang back from the dead, since Shang Tsung had Liu Kang's soul. Someone reanimated his body, taking over his corpse and killing many innocent people in the process. I actually had a great time playing as Liu Kang in this game. A lot more fun than I have in Liu Kang in any other Mortal Kombat game, actually. First of all, his design is awesome. I mean, he looks like a fucking zombie. His moves are more or less the same as previously, but they just feel more at home in this game. The only thing I don't like is that his weapon is nunchucks, the same as Johnny Cage had in Deadly Alliance. It would have been cool if maybe it was like brass knuckles or something.
Liu Kang's friends had been freed, Onaga had been defeated, and the realms were secure once more. But there was one battle that remained. Liu Kang's body had been used by some unknown force as a tool of destruction. It had left death in its wake and needed to be stopped. The chaos would end in Earthrealm. The fight raged with neither combatant able to best the other, when a jolt of energy crackled through them both. Liu Kang's nerves blazed like fire, and he felt a rush of air fill his lungs for the first time since his death. He was Liu Kang once more, protector of Earthrealm, champion of Mortal Kombat.
Anyways, with that, I have now completed all of the meat of this game that I plan on for this video. Now, I'm going to talk about the different aspects of this game. Stages. The stages in this game are honestly all fantastic. The aesthetics of all of them just feel so perfect. The Yin Yang Island stage particularly is really cool. The stage switches from normal and good to evil at random intervals, and making it rain and transform palm trees into giant snakes reminiscent of a hydra. The pit is brought into a full 3D environment and is really cool. Stage fatalities are very easy and basically free. The stage hazards are also very common. Really, in my opinion, this game has the best stages so far in the series. There's a good variety here. Krypt. This time around, the Krypt is smaller, which I think is probably a net positive. I got through the majority of the tombstones by simply playing the game. If I did want to get all of them, it's certainly a reachable goal, but back in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, it wasn't so reachable. The biggest issue I have, though, is that there aren't as many cool parody images like there were for Deadly Alliance. I like to see the developers have fun, and I saw less of that here. That isn't to say the Krypt is dull and lifeless, however. I mean, the actual Krypt area is much more entertaining and interesting to look at. If you want to see me go more into depth with the Krypt and also talk a little bit about random stuff in an unscripted setting, then there'll be a link in the description to my second channel, which will have that video go up at the same time as this one. Gameplay. There really isn't too much to speak on in terms of gameplay. Yeah, it's fun, it's just as good as Deadly Alliance even. Really nothing to expand on, it's remarkably similar to Deadly Alliance. Roster. I've seen this roster get some shit online, but honestly I think it's pretty good. I like it a lot. It has most of the main characters people want, except for Johnny Cage, Sonya, and Jax. Other than that, it has Kabal, Baraka, and Sindel, which are some of the most interesting Mortal Kombat characters to me. They also have more story and lore added to them through Konquest as well as their bios. I just think it's a pretty good roster. Fatalities. This game does have some pretty good fatalities, but I don't really want to go into depth about it and show them here because I could just get age restricted. Just know that they're the most brutal and entertaining in the series thus far. I think that's everything I wanted to say about the game. Really, Mortal Kombat Deception is a great game and the best one in the series so far. It's better than Deadly Alliance for sure, given the more cohesive story and tighter Krypt as well as some enjoyable side modes. I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to subscribe, like the video, do whatever you want to do. Not going to force you to do anything, but I just really appreciate everyone's support. Yet again, I'm probably going to stream a little bit more since Mortal Kombat 1 did come out, and I'm hoping to still get the videos that I had planned in a post out soon. It's just I have a lot of stuff going on, so it's kind of hard, but I am trying. So I appreciate everyone's patience, and have a good day. Thank you.